Okay, so we have this week amazing teachings from Reb Tzadok from Levin, Parshat Chukat. We're towards the end of our cycle. That I have to decide if next week we're going to still be doing Reb Tzadok or we're going to start some new unknown cycle. But this week we're doing Reb Tzadok and Parshat Chukat, and Parshat Chukat at the very end of the Parsha, so talks about the war that the Jewish people had with the nation of the Emori. And this is two big kings, Sichon and Og, and we actually conquered their land, and that became what's called Ever HaYarden, and this is Syria. This is like Syria is somewhat of a connection to the land of Israel, and most probably, like when Mashiach comes, it's going to be part of Israel. Syria is going to be part of Israel. So the better, what's it called? To make normalcy, to normalize, the better normalize, or else. So, and the Pesukim say a very fascinating thing when it comes to after we destroyed Sichon and Og. So it says this whole poem about the defeat of Sichon and Og, and it says Al Ken Yamru HaMoshlim. Those who make mishalim. Mishalim are the poets, the people who make parables, those who are just like the more artistic of the Jews. So when they would talk about this war, they would say, "Bo Cheshbon, come to Cheshbon." Cheshbon was literally the capital of the nation of Emori. Tibanev v'tikonen u'yisrichon. That it should be rebuilt and it should be reestablished, the city of Sichon. Ki ish yatsa mecheshbon, because there was a fire that came out of Cheshbon. Cheshbon was that capital city. Lehava mikiryat Sichon, there was a flame that came out of Sichon. Achla armav bali bamas arnan. So this is how the poets described the victory over Sichon and Og, over the Amori. And so this very famous Gemara that it says a new interpretation of these psukim, and it became very famous because it's brought down in the book called Mesilat Yesharim. Mesilat Yesharim, the path of the just, from Reb Moshe Chaim Lotzato, Zichrono Livracha. So Chazal say that what does this really mean? Al Ken Yamru HaMoshlim B'Yitzram. That when it talks about the Moshlim, so it doesn't mean the people that are the artists, it doesn't mean the people who are writing parables, it means Hamoshlim B'Yitzram, those who are in control of their negative character traits, those who are in charge of their Yetzer Hara. Bo Cheshbon, what are the people that are in charge, the people that are masters of their evil inclination? So what did he say? Bo Cheshbon, just make a cheshbon. Bo v'nachshov cheshbono shel olam. Let's make the cheshbon, the accounting of life. Let's make together the accounting of life. Schar mitzvah keneged hafseda, v'schar aveda avera keneged schara. V'keneged hafseda, v'hafsed avera keneged schara. That let's make an accounting of the world, let's make an accounting of life. Schar mitzvah keneged hafseda. That the pros and the cons. Let's make the pros and the cons. That what you gain from a mitzvah, what do you lose from a mitzvah? What do you gain from an avera? What do you lose from an avera? And that's what the Moshlim B'Cheshbon tell us to do. They instruct us, they invite us to make a cheshbon. They invite us to live lives of cheshbon, to be people who live with an accounting. Okay, and this is says Chazal. This says the Mesilas Yesharim. He quotes this, that this is a key advice to succeeding in life, is to keep an account of what's going on, to not be walking in the darkness, to not just be chilling, to not just be doing whatever, and to just like I'm trying, to actually to sit down and make an accounting. And this is a very critical thing, and it's a very critical thing in succeeding in life in general, and certainly in succeeding in being a Jew, is that to make an accounting, is to sit down with yourself every once in a while and say, what am I doing with my life? Am I spending my time wisely? Do I have goals? Am I succeeding in getting my goals? Am I maybe going in the wrong directions? What are the things that are holding me back from succeeding in my goals? And it just just sitting down with myself and making a cheshbon. A cheshbon is a critical thing of succeeding in life. And so Tzadok wants to know. Tzadok wants to know why is of all the places in the world the Torah is going to tell us this important lesson that if you want to succeed in life, so you should live with accounting. So why is the place that the Torah teaches us? Why is this specifically in the victory over Sichon and Og, over the victory over the Amori? Okay, so he says like this. So he says he has a teaching from the Chazon Lublin that said in the name of the Baal Shem Tov that the seven nations of Canaan, they're sometimes referring to the Shiva Ha'amamin, that there's a mitzvah to destroy them. And so when we hear the number 7, as we're amateur Kabbalists, so when we hear the number 7, so we immediately think of the 7 Sfirot. Okay, when we're talking about seven nations, it must be connected to the 7 Sfirot. So the Amori, so the Chazon Lublin said, so we say this every day in Az Yashir. So B'charoti Ma'abrit, Latet Lahem Et Eretz Knani, am I blanking? B'charoti Ma'abrit Latet Lahem Et Eretz Knani V'Amori V'Apizi. So the third one is the Amori. And so he says that we're talking about Amori, so we're talking about the third midah. The third sfira is the sfira of Tiferet. Okay, so this is what the Baal Shem Tov says, that the Amori is corresponding to the midah of Tiferet, because it's the third nation in Canaan, in the land, in the ancient land of Israel, and so there's something about conquering Amori, which is conquering this Sefirah, this midah of Tiferet. Okay, so we need to take a couple of minutes to understand what exactly is this midah of Tiferet, to understand what exactly is the connection between this and being a moshel and being a person of chashbon. Okay, so he says that if you want to know about Tiferet, so the first thing we need to know about Tiferet is that Hashem talks about the Jewish people that you are Yisrael asher b'cha et pa'ar. The word Tiferet comes from the word of beauty, and it comes from the word lehit pa'er, means to boast about, to be proud of, to be just amazed by. That lehit pa'er with somebody is to just be so proud of them that you can't stop talking about how awesome they are. So Hashem says about the Jewish people, Yisrael asher b'cha et pa'ar, Yisrael, the Jewish people, I take so much glory from you. I just can't stop talking about you. And I like this Jewish grandmother that whoever she meets, she's always showing them pictures and telling that, and this one, so he's going to this yeshiva next year, and this one he's going to this college, and he's a lawyer, and and this one, look, I want to show you, he is so cute as kids, and they're just so that's what Hashem is about every single Jew, that he's mitpa'er. Right? I'm not sure if you noticed this, but this is actually part of the song of this war that Hashem Ohev that it starts that Hashem hu Abba Tov hu tamid mitpa'er bi. Hashem is a good father hu tamid mitpa'er bi, that he's always so proud of me. He's always just bragging about me. That he only sees the good in me. Right? That's what this whole song is talking about. That Hashem is mitpa'er bi, that Hashem just sees my good. That when he asks him, tell me about so and so, he says, oh my gosh, he is the best. Okay, that is what Hashem says about every single Jew. Okay, so that is the midat hatiferet is, that Hashem is so proud of the Jewish people, about every single Jew, and Chazal tells us in the Gemara Brachas, it says that this is the essence of the tefillin. This is the essence of the tefillin of Hashem. Okay, it says that Hashem wears tefillin. That's just like Jewish men wear tefillin, so Hashem also wears tefillin. And it says that tefillin are called pe'er, which is the same letters as tiferet. Okay, Pei Aleph Resh. Pe'er means something of glory. So the tefillin are called the pe'er. So what is it? So what does it mean that Hashem wears tefillin? It means that Hashem wears this glory. And it says, what does it say in the tefillin of Hashem? So it says different psukim about how awesome the Jewish people are. There's one pasuk that says that Mi ka'amcha Yisrael asher lo Elokim kravim elav, that there's no nation like the Jewish people, and it says so on and so forth. It says Ashrecha Yisrael Mi kamocha, that all the different places in the Torah where Hashem says that, oh my gosh, you are so amazing. So those are the four. Just like we have four parashiyos, in our tefillin. That one of them is talking about Shema, one is talking about Vahaya, one is talking about the different. We have different things that we talk about how awesome Hashem is. So Hashem has four parashas about how awesome we are. Yeah, so this is Tiferet. The Tiferet, that when a person wants to connect with the midah of Tiferet, so what should he be thinking? That I want to really personify the fact that Hashem is proud of me. I want to live a life knowing that Hashem is proud of me, knowing that Hashem just can't stop boasting about me, and to live a life knowing that your Father is so proud of you. So that is living Tiferet. That is what it means to bring into the world this Sephira of Tiferet, to bring into this light of Tiferet, is to live life with the knowledge that Hashem is super proud of me, and that it affects every decision we make. It affects everything we do in life. So if you know that Hashem is constantly telling everybody about how awesome I am, so it makes you want to make the right decisions. It makes you want to be somebody that Hashem is going to be even more proud of you. When you know that Hashem is so proud of you, so it gives you motivation to be even better. Okay, so this is what Tiferet is supposed to be. So he explains that there is a reality in the world, there's a reality in the spiritual realm that it's called Zeh Le'umat Zeh. It's a pasuk in Kohelet, Zeh Le'umat Zeh Asah Elokim, that Hashem created the world Zeh Le'umat Zeh, that there is one world corresponding to the other world. And Chazal explained this to me, that corresponding to every element of Kedusha, every element of holiness, so there's also a world of Tumah. There's a world of the opposite of holiness. There's a world of impurity. And the problem is that this world of impurity, so it shows up as if he's the real thing. And it's like Chazal have a term that kof b'fnei adam, that it's like a monkey. A monkey copies a human being. So there's this artificial reality. There's this alternative reality, which is completely a lie, which is the world of Tumah, which is the world of sin, which is the world of fake existence, which tries to present itself as if it's the real thing. Okay, and so just like in the world of holiness, in the world of Kedusha, so there's a world of Tiferet, that this amazing energy of living life, knowing how much Hashem is proud of us, how much Hashem is boasting about us. So there's an opposite quality, and that is ga'ava, and that is arrogance. That is a person that thinks that I am where it's at. I am the epitome of mankind. I am the epitome of creation. I am the center of the universe. I am so awesome that nobody is usher than me. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And that is how we look at ourselves as being the center of the universe. This is gaiva, this is arrogance, and this is the tiferet of the klipa. Okay, this is the tiferet of the klipa. This is in the Tanya. So he calls this hit pa'arut. The hit pa'arut, to be so proud of myself. Okay, we're supposed to be walking through life with the understanding that Hashem is so proud of me. And the opposite, like it's like almost, but no cigar, is to go through life thinking that I am so proud of myself, to constantly be giving myself, pat myself on the back, and to say like, whoa, to tell myself, whoa, I am so awesome. It's so similar, but it's so different. To live life thinking that Hashem thinks I'm so awesome, whereas to think that, whoa, I'm really so awesome. It's two opposite ways of existing, two opposite ways of looking at myself. That one is to think of how much Hashem thinks I'm good, and the other one is to think that I'm actually so good. Okay, so Gaiva and Hitparut are actually opposites, but they're coming from a similar place. And so Ga'ava, arrogance, is actually a mutation of this amazing midah of Tiferet, of Hitparut. So now, why are the opposites? Why are these actually opposites? Because if I'm living life with the understanding that Hashem thinks I'm so awesome, so I don't think that I'm the center of the universe. I understand that Hashem is the center of the universe, and I feel so humbled by the fact that the King of the universe, the Creator of the world, He thinks something of me. When I know how awesome Hashem is, and I think that the Master of the universe likes me, so then it makes me even more humble, because it makes me feel like this is so insane. This is so messed up. How could the Master of the universe, how could the infinite source of everything, how could He care about me? How could He be interested in me? So that's when I think about that, that makes me more humble. That makes me think that I'm even less than, like, if I'm a nobody and nobody actually cares about me, so then I feel like a nobody, but like there's a limit to how much of a nobody I can feel. But if I think I'm a nobody, and then somebody tells me that, that the most amazing person in the world, he actually thinks that you're awesome, I'm going to say, what? He thinks I'm awesome? That it makes no sense. And I'm going to be just stressing and freaking out and telling all my roommates about like, it makes no sense. But I'm going to keep on saying, but what could he possibly think about? And every time I say, but what could he possibly think about me? I'm becoming more anava. I'm becoming more humble, and I'm coming further away from arrogance. So really, these are actually opposite ways of experiencing life. One is that to think that Hashem is so proud of me, and the other one is to saying that I'm so proud of myself. So Tiferet and Hitparut are actually opposites in this scale. So that's why he explains that in our heroes, in the Jewish heroes, so who is the Jewish hero that is connected to Tiferet? Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu is connected to the third Sphira, because he's the third of the Avot. So Yaakov Avinu was the one connected to Tiferet, and that's why Yaakov Avinu, so he's the one that says Katonti. He tells Hashem, Katonti mikol chasadim. I'm so small. Like I don't deserve all the kindness that you gave me. He is the one in the Torah that says before Hashem that I'm so undeserving of all the kindness that you're giving me. So Yaakov Avinu. So he's the one that's connected. So he's connected to Anava. He's connected to being small, because he actually personifies this world of Tiferet. So now, when we're having this battle against Emory, which is corresponding to Tiferet, so it says that he is the king of Cheshbon. He's the king of Cheshbon. Cheshbon is the capital of Emory. So Chazal understand this to mean that Cheshbon really means that this ability to take an accounting of your life. So what they're saying is that there's two energies which are holding us back from taking control of our life, of owning our life, and being these, it's called in the Zohar, Marei de Cheshbona. Marei means a master of Cheshbon. Marei de Cheshbona is a master of Cheshbon is a person who takes control of their life, that doesn't allow themselves to be passive, doesn't allow themselves to be led through life, doesn't allow themselves to just go with the flow, but I'm going to take control. Like I'm going to be a Mari L'Cheshbon, I'm going to take an accounting, and I'm going to ask myself that is this serving me, is it not serving me, make changes in my life that based on where I would like to be. So what are the two biggest enemies of being a Mari L'Cheshbon? What are the two most dangerous forces? So first of all, we have Og, and second of all we have Sichon. And these are the two kings that we're trying to defeat. So who are these two people, Sichon and Og? So Og was, anybody know?
He was like a giant.
He was a giant. Og was a giant. So being a giant,
Like hung on to
Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so Og is being a giant.
By the way, I think that's where the word ogre comes from.
Ogre.
Yeah, like an ogre.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So Og, the very first ogre. So what's his thing? His thing is that he feels giant. Okay? If you ask him, how are you doing? He says, amazing. He says, like, is there anybody doing more amazing than you? Absolutely not. I am the most amazing. Okay? I'm top of the world. How are you feeling? I'm feeling like couldn't be better. Okay? And this is the feeling of Og. Og represents arrogance. Og represents that I'm top of the world. I'm king of the mountain and every mountain. And this is the first thing that holds us away from Mari L'Cheshbon is arrogance. And the truth is that for the same reason that Og wants to keep us away from taking a cheshbon of our lives, so he also takes us away from Hashem himself, meaning that the really ego is the greatest enemy to Emunah in the first place, because to have Emunah means to recognize that there's somebody above you. And people that like to feel themselves that I'm top of the world, they don't like that. They don't like this feeling that there's somebody above me. They don't like that there's somebody watching me. There's somebody that I need to account to. There's somebody that I need to answer to. Like, we're talking about Mari L'Cheshbon. We're talking about having a cheshbon of life, of having accounting of what I'm doing. So that means I need to answer to somebody. That means I have a boss. Some people that they just can't work for anybody else. They need to be self-employed because the concept of having to answer to somebody, it just doesn't work for them. And so it's a character trait. It's something that we need to deal with. But the truth is that it comes from this lack of desire to answer to somebody. This lack of desire, lack of ability to say that I'm gonna say yes, sir. Because why should I listen to you? I'm so much better than you, so much more talented than you. Someone was just telling me the other day about an issue that he has in the army is when they have this thing called what's it called, Parak Bet or Shtav Bet, that for older people to join the army. It's a very frustrating thing to have to ask somebody 10 years younger than you if you can use the restroom. It's something that people really, really struggle with. Why should I have to ask you? I'm so much more advanced in life than you are. I'm so much smarter than you are. And okay, that's sweet. But in this room, I'm your boss, and you're my, what's the word? You're my subject. Subordinate. And so the desire to be the top of the world is going to, by definition, hold me back from keeping a cheshbon of my life. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's Og. That's Og's thing. Now we come to Sichon. Sichon, and this is really the essence of Emori, because what does the word Emori come from? Amar, Emor. It's about speaking. It's about speech. It's about speaking. So Sichon is connected to speech because the word Sichon is connected to the word Sicha. Okay, Sicha means conversation. Okay, that if we had a nice Sicha, it means we had a nice conversation. If a kid ever asks you if Sicha by telephone, Sichat telephone, it's a conversation. So Sicha is actually a little bit different in actual Hebrew. So we differentiate between Sicha, and Dibur. Okay, what's the difference between Sicha and Dibur? that dibor is that I'm saying something very, very precise. Okay, that dibor is guy talk. Sicha is girl talk. Okay, what's the difference between guy talk and girl talk? That in guy talk, so that there's a point to every sentence. That there's there's something I want to know. Could you please tell me this? And then the second guy tells him what he wanted to know. He said, "Okay, thanks." In girl talk, it doesn't go like that. In girl talk, they just talk and talk and talk and talk. Okay, the Gemara says in Kedushin that asara kaven sicha yardu la'olam tisha natlu nashim ve'echad kol ha'olam kula. That there's 10 portions of sicha that came down into the world, that nine of them women took, and men took the other 1%, 10%. That there's something connected to girl talk, that the girls can just talk and talk and talk. That they can, their conversations could be endless. They can talk the whole night. For guys, it's really hard to talk the whole night, because the conversation ended. So then, when the conversation ends, so then they just go back to doing whatever they were doing before. But the girls, it's not about that. It's not about. It's just like, it's not about exchanging information. It's just about the fact that they are talking. And that's what sicha is. Okay, so sicha, when we're talking about sicha as a way of talking, that sicha is a talk that doesn't really go anywhere. And so this is what the Tanya talks about, is part of the Yesod HaRuach. Part of Yesod HaRuach is that the air quality is to just talk, but you're just full of air. Just the whole conversation is just a bunch of air, bunch of hot air. And this is referring to people that are attracted to conversations that don't go anywhere. Okay, this is the news. This is politics. This is just like talking about things. There's a certain gossip. This is talking about stuff that has no purpose in my life. That a constructive conversation is, let's talk about how we can improve ourselves. And that's cheshbon. And then the enemy of cheshbon, of a cheshbon kind of talk, is let's just talk. Let's just talk. So let's just talk about anything. Whatever you say, I'll tell you 5 cool things about that, and then we'll talk about that, why you think that's so cool, and there's just so much hak, and there's so much nice, and there's so much gossip, and there's so much news, and this is the opposite. This is the opposite of cheshbon. This is the opposite of dibur. This is the opposite of constructive speech. So this is actually, it's connected to taiva. It's connected to taiva. It's connected to, there's a certain element of lust that to schmooze my life away is actually an element of taiva, that we have this. It's a certain pleasure from just talking forever and ever. Okay, so this is what sichon. This is what sichon. No offense to any girls, it's not any particular girl. It's just like a feminine trait there. So this is what sichon is all about. That sichon is about talking in a way that's not going anywhere, and it just go in circles, that you can just like spend the entire night talking about absolutely nothing. And
good politician.
Yeah, and not just the politician, but just even the people talking about the politicians. Just like politics in general is something that gets you nowhere. There's this story about these 2 women that were talking at work, and she says that we have there's all these issues with my husband. I don't know, we're always fighting. And so she says, we used to fight, but then we decided that we had a good system that works, that I'll make all the small decisions, he'll make all the big decisions. And she says, interesting. interesting ways. How do you what would you consider a small decision? So she says so I decide, for example, things like budgeting, things like where we're going to live, like where we can send our kids to school. Those are. She says, well, that sounds pretty big. So what's a big thing that he decides? So no, that's not. He decides the really big things. He decides who's going to win the war in Russia, who's going to be the prime minister. When it comes to the big stuff, so he decides. And so it's all of these talk. There's so much talking that doesn't get you anywhere. There's certain amounts. I think everybody we're hopefully behind the war with Iran, but when it comes to wars, so I myself felt that I was on my phone way more than I would like to be, and being in a situation of war, it makes you more want to know the news, but the actual news that you want to know is a small percentage of the news, because you're constantly being bombarded by all this news that you don't really want to know, because the news that you want to know is the news that somehow is relevant to your life, and for some reason they bombard you with all this 90% more. That maybe more than 90%, that 95% of the news has no relevance to my life. It's just all these opinions and all the in the process of there's a possibility that this one said that maybe they're going to do this and no, just tell me when it happens. They're just tell me when it's something relevant to my life. What's it make a difference that this person claimed that we're going to you're not the prime minister. You don't make the decisions. You're just saying your opinion that makes no difference to anybody's life. And we're being bombarded by all these different opinions that have no relevance to reality, and that's sicha. So we become addicted to our phones, addicted to the news. It's I would say news with quotation marks, because it's not news. This is not news. This is just sicha. This is just something taking us nowhere. Okay, and this is what Rabbi Arla, the Shem HaMunim. So he said that in Yiddish the spelling of politik is the same gematria as Amalek. That they're just talking politics. It gets you nowhere. Talking news about when people have their conceptions, their what they think is going to be, that now we have the expert in the Middle East, the expert on Muslims, the expert on Arabs, and he thinks that this was such a big mistake. These things okay, who asked you? What makes a difference? This makes no difference to my life. I want to know something that's relevant. I want to know that I need to go to the bomb shelter right now. I need to know that I have to say Tehillim right now. I want that all of your guesses about what's going to be in the future makes no difference to my life. That's called sicha. Okay, so the truth is that sicha is this talk that gets nowhere. So it's the reason why it was created, I believe, is because people are looking for a distraction. Because we have a stress, we have let's say a war, and so we have a need to have something to calm us down, and so that having these endless, pointless conversations is some way of dealing with the anxiety of the fact that something's going on. And the truth is that really that this is simply an expression of addictions. Okay, this is that a person becomes addicted to their phone as a way of calming this lack of quietness, this uneasiness inside of me. So I want to calm down this uneasiness, and so I go to something that's going to quiet it, and go to the news, and it's a false sense of quieting it, because it actually doesn't do anything, because it actually didn't it didn't help me whatsoever. But for the time being, so I felt that this uneasiness was subdued, and so you don't need to do your phone. You could also eat. You could also binge eat. And whenever you feel anxiety, to just eat a lot, and that also quiet this uneasiness. You could also go to alcohol. You can also go to drugs. Lots of.
What about good news? Like if you read something that's good, or think that.
Once again, in the realm of news, so there's news that makes the difference. Yeah. That I want to know the world I'm living in, right? But 95% of the news is not the things that happened. It's just people's interpretations and people's guesses about what's going to be in the future, and just all the opinions about all the statements of all the politicians, and like there's some relevance to know what every politician believes, because you want to know if you want to vote for him to be prime minister at some point. But 95% of it is just holding us, just getting us down. It's just holding us away from doing something with our lives, right? So this is what Sichon represents. This Sicha, these talks that go nowhere, is actually just an example of all addictions, of all just ways of quieting my uneasiness. And this is the second thing that gets me away from cheshbon. And so this is the two enemies of cheshbon, the two enemies of living a life of calculation, a life of accounting, is number one, og, which represents gaiva. Who's going to tell me what to do? I don't want to answer to anybody. I am the boss. This is like a teenager. Like I don't like authority. I just want to do whatever I want to do, and that's og, and which brings to a person to not want to answer up to Hashem. But I don't like this concept that I have to answer up to a higher power. And number two is sichon. Sichon is that it is like, okay, there is a God. I'm not denying that there's a God. I'm not denying that there's, but hold on. But this is so interesting. This is so fascinating. Like look, and this is just so enjoyable. And that person can just shut up these voices of do something with your life, because hold on, just one more drink, just one more news article. Just not whatever the addiction is. So addictions, by definition, they get you nowhere, and they're an artificial way of quieting this voice inside of you that actually wants to get you somewhere. Because really, the true desire of this anxiety is to get you somewhere, and you're able to shut up this voice, where it actually wants you to succeed in life. You're able to shut it up by all these different sichons. Okay, so this is what this battle represents, this battle of Amori, the battle of this kingdom of Amori, which is represented by Sichon and Og. So this is the battle against Tiferet. This is the battle against this holy light of the Hashem, that of going through life with the feeling that Hashem is proud of me, and the mutation of going through life that Hashem is proud of me is thinking that I'm the top of the world, which is the og. And the second mutation of thinking that Hashem is proud of me is just to numb myself. Just like that's like I don't like this uneasiness of thinking that Hashem is proud of me. That makes me feel a little bit like I have to live up to some expectation of Hashem, and that makes me feel uneasy. So I'll just go to the bar and not have to think about it. And that's what sichon represents. So I want to talk about that. How do we conquer sichon and og? How do we conquer the amari? And what does it mean? What does it mean this to be mari the cheshbon? What this term from the Zohar, to be mari the cheshbon, to be people that take an accounting of their life. So number one, that to take an accounting of my life means that to live a life that makes sense. Okay, to live a life that makes sense. That means that to be rational. Yeah, there's a lot of things we do that are irrational. Okay, like once a friend of mine. So he was doing some kind of kiruv meeting with secular Israelis, and so he said, so I'm happy to talk to you about anything you want, but there has to be one ground rule. Okay. So the secular guy was like, for sure he's going to say like, you can't make fun of Torah. You have to he was expecting something like Jewish. He said the one rule is we have to be rational. There has to be a rational conversation. Meaning, like, if I say something that objectively makes sense, so you can't say, okay, but I don't care. Like that's an irrational response. So that the ground rules of having a conversation with me is that it needs to be, we have to be rational. We have to be rational. It's such a, because there's a person can tell you the truth, like straight into your face, and we still have the ability to say, whatever. Okay, but so other people don't think like that. So that's being irrational. That's being irrational. Like somebody was telling me that the reason why they don't go to the bomb shelter when there's a siren is because there was a promise from Reb Chaim Kanievsky that everything is going to be okay. They're like that's called being irrational. That's called you have a rabbi who's no longer alive, that he made a promise that is already proven to be not true. Maybe it was true during his lifetime. I'm not saying, but to rely on that today is considered being irrational. So you can say other things. You can I'm not saying that everybody that doesn't go to the bomb shelter is insane. But to say that the reason why I don't go to the bomb shelter is because of the promise of a dead rabbi, so that's called being irrational. Okay, so we have to in life we would try. We have to at least try to be rational people. So the first step of being married to Choshmana is to try to just live our lives in a rational way, that what's rational, that it makes sense, we should do. So when it comes to on a very basic level, so like I've said this a lot of times, that believing in God is a rational decision. Okay, believing in Torah is a rational decision, because let's say it's 50-50. Let's say that we have 5,000 volumes of people that prove the existence of God, 5,000 volumes of people that prove the disexistence of God. So let's say it's a 50-50. Okay, so what do you do when it's 50-50? So there's a famous statement from Blaise Pascal that he said if you're on the fence, so you're better off being religious, because this is like a Christian expression of really what Mesilas Yesharim says, that schar mitzvah keneged hafseda, schar avera keneged hafseda. That let's say that there's really no God. Let's say there's really no God, chas v'shalom. So you're going to go up after 120, and you're gonna find out that you didn't really need to keep kosher, you didn't need to keep Shabbos, it was all a bluff, and so what did you lose out? You lose out that you could have ate some stuff, you could have hung out with girls more, you could have hung out with that, you could have done some averas, you would have and what did you gain? You gained other stuff. Okay, but let's say you're wrong. Let's say you live an atheist life, and then after 120 you come up and you find out, actually they were right. Actually, there is a God, and the God looks down at you and he says, ahem. And says, but I didn't believe in you. I said, why didn't you believe in me? But I sent you Rabbi Kilstein. and so then what? And then what? So then you're really messed up. Then you're really messed up. You live your entire life. So what's the loss? So this is what Pascal said, that what you're going to lose by living an atheist life on the chance that there actually is a God is way, way worse than what you're going to lose out having a religious life, even if you're wrong. So just to make a financial, rational decision about whether I should live a religious life or a secular life. So you're better off logically to live a religious life. Okay, that's one expression of just being a rational person, of being a married Choshmana. Now, the truth is that of course it's much deeper than that. It's not just should I believe in everything? That this is in every element of our life. There's something that we say in brachas, that we say in the Birkat Torah, la'asok b'divrei Torah. We make a bracha that Hashem commanded us la'asok b'divrei Torah. So the commentaries explain that why does he use the word la'asok b'divrei Torah? The word asek means a business. It means that you should look at Torah like a business. You should look at your Torah life like a business. When you run a business, a good businessman, so he at the end of the day he says, how many sales did I make today? And what if I didn't make sales, then I ask myself, why didn't I make sales? What's wrong? Is there something wrong with my product? Is there something wrong with my my PR? Is there something wrong with my store? Is there something wrong with my my salespeople? Like what's wrong? I'm not going to just keep on doing it because okay, it's all from Hashem. Like with the business, so you ask yourself, what is going wrong? What could I do better? How can I improve my business? I'm going to ask my mentors, like the people that make billions. How do you become a billionaire? Well, I want to follow in your footsteps. I want to. So La'asok b'divrei Torah means to run your Torah life like it's a business. Okay, that means that we don't have the privilege to just sit back and say, okay, whatever will be, will be. That if you're going to take your Torah life seriously, then you should take it at least as serious as you would if it was a business. Okay, nobody's going to invest a lot, invest $1 million in a business and lose everything and so have no profits and say, okay, we'll try again next year. No, you're going to change something. You're going to say, I'm obviously doing something wrong. It's like, so if I'm living a life of I'm trying to be close to Hashem, and it's just not working, and I feel like a loser, and I feel like I hate Shabbos, and I feel like I hate God, and I feel like I'm not gaining Torah. I don't feel like I'm becoming wiser. I don't feel like I'm in a better state, and so something is wrong. I'm investing time, I'm investing effort, and I'm not getting anywhere in life. So I must be doing something wrong. So if this would be a business, you would not just keep on doing it. You would not just settle with a mediocre life. You would speak to somebody. You would change something. You would write down what I've been doing. You would do something. And this is what it means. This is what it means that la'asok b'divrei Torah. So, in the second pasuk, so it says ki eish yatsa mecheshbon lehava mikir yasechon ochla ermarav balei bamasar. And it says that the destruction of Sichon and Og is through fire. The destruction of Sichon and Og is through fire, and so Reb Tzadok says that the destruction of these two enemies of being a Mari Cheshbon, these two enemies of living a life of accounting. So the solution can be through fire. The solution can be through fire because first of all, if a person is fiery about their relationship with Hashem, so the passion for Hashem, the passion for a goal, so it overcomes my passion, my feeling of contempt. It overcomes my feeling of I'm good, because a fire is never satisfied. A fire is always asking for more. He's always moving. He's always growing. He's always expanding. So the more that I'm a fiery person, so I'm never going to feel like I'm at the top. Right? It's like we said before. That's an air sign. To feel like I'm good. I'm just floating. That's an air sign. To be fiery requires me to go somewhere. Requires me to expand. Requires me to get better. That's number one. And the second thing is that these sichos, these are just going nowhere, these addictions. So that when I'm on fire, when I'm passionate, so then I don't feel okay with just quieting that thirst. I nip it in the bud, and I say that I'm not okay wasting away my life. I'm not okay walking in circles. I'm not okay that to just allow myself to just be on my phone 7 hours straight. I don't allow myself to go in these negative behaviors that end up in the wrong place. They end up making wrong decisions. They end up spending a year in the way that I didn't want to spend it. I spend a week and I just like to be on top of it. That when a person is fiery about the relationship with Hashem, so then that gives them the motivation to be rational, to make the right decisions, to make wise decisions, to make rational decisions, and this is really what it means to be a success in life. This is that we need to take an accounting that it's a nice thing to make an accounting every day. It's nice thing to make an accounting every month. Minimum, at least Erev Yom Kippur. At least Erev Yom Kippur. So every person absolutely needs to write down, how am I doing in life? How am I doing? And the more that we treat our lives like a business, the more often we're going to do it. Okay, the more serious we take our life, that I want to succeed in life. Do I really want to succeed? If I would treat my life like a business, if this is if this is what I wanted to, if I would ask myself, I want to succeed, so then I would ask myself, okay, what am I doing wrong? How can I do it better? Even if I'm doing good. Good businessmen, even if they're doing well, they want to do better. They want to do better. They always want to succeed more. So constantly asking myself that, am I living my life to the fullest? Not in the pressure way. This is cheshbon nefesh. Cheshbon nefesh is not something that is supposed to put a person down. If a person is going to beat themselves up, because they aren't living up to their expectations, then they're doing it all wrong. People spend I think a 20-minute session with Tony Robbins costs like $20,000.
Sounds right.
Yeah, they're willing to pay huge amounts of money for him to tell you that you're doing everything wrong. You're doing this is the best thing, the best present I can give myself is to how can I improve, how can I change, and if we're excited, if we're fiery, then we want to succeed in life. So then it's not going to bring us down. Then making a cheshbon is going to make us exciting. Then making changes in our life is going to make us is to make us happy. Is to make us know that we're on a path to a better life. So this is what it means to defeat Sichon. This is what it means to live life knowing that Hashem is so proud of me. Hashem is so proud of me, so I want to live up to that expectation. I'm excited about the fact that Hashem is proud of me. I'm excited about the fact that Hashem is always telling all His angels how awesome I am, and that's what gives me the motivation to make myself even better. B'ezrat Hashem.